Today in Xbox News, a once-in-a-lifetime Halo convention. Baldur's Gate 3 is Play Anywhere. And the rumor mills are on fire about Microsoft's ambitious next-gen hardware. What's up, gamers? Face the Samurai here. Beautiful Monday, October 27th. With a light news day today. However, there are some pretty cool rumors going on. So we'll dive right into what happened over the weekend and what's going on today. So if you were following the Halo World Championships, the community streams, you've now learned that there will be a Halo Fest next year. It will happen in December, so end of year, all things Halo. Obviously, it's coordinated because it's the 25th anniversary of not only the franchise but Xbox, so it's going to be a big year. It's probably a good way of ending the year as well with one of Microsoft's biggest franchises. So Halo Fest happening in Seattle, right? So December 12 and 13, and there's a concert thing right before. So you might want to start booking your hotels for those dates if you want to head on over to Seattle and enjoy some Halo for a whole weekend with some friends. Up next, just announced last night super late, so this morning, although considering they're Japanese, it makes sense for them to have published the trailer at that time. There is a crossover going on between Once Human, which is I believe a survival game, as well as Pal World. So they're gonna have this coming up in a few short days, I believe. So a little collab here going on. So it's all free, obviously. So if you have Pal World on either Steam or if you're a Game Pass subscriber and you have access to this amazing game, by the way, which I did enjoy quite a bit, and my kids as well. Well, you're gonna have the collab coming on October 30th. Next, Ready or Not has been quite popular since it's released on the console. There's a little community trailer here that just talks about like the numbers that the community has done over the last few months. You see how many criminals brought to justice and stuff like that. It's just a little funny trailer just to see stats about the game. So if you're interested about that, you can check it out on YouTube as well. And we jump into Bluey. So it's a game I did play a bit. I mean, I'll be honest here, got my hands on it a little bit on Xbox just to get some easy achievements. I'm like that sometimes, you know, but there's a trailer here about little camping, I think, overview, whatever, for the next Blue game. So if you're into this kind of stuff or you have kids that do, well, know that there's some new stuff to be showing them about the upcoming release of the next Bluey video game. Little rumor today. Well, it's not live yet, so we don't have any way of confirming. Although I could, I guess, just do a checkup myself, which is quite easy to do live as we are. Well, I don't want to be logging in here. Okay, let's see. I'm on the page here. Home. I don't have the same setup as they do. What if we go for Baldur? Is it gonna show up? This wasn't actually planned, but I just decided to check it. Okay, I don't see anything here. Unless it's somewhere else in the store. I'm guessing this is on the Xbox. That's in the Xbox store, huh? So I was looking at the wrong place. Baldur's Gate 3 is apparently going Play Anywhere from what people have seen. There's a screenshot there. But from what I've gathered online, it's not yet available like that way. So I don't know if it's a preemptive. I know sometimes they kind of like mess up a little bit, Microsoft on their end, and they announce stuff like early, but it's not yet implemented, or it's supposed to be announced later. So that could be an early glimpse as to what's going to happen with Baldur's Gate 3. And there's more and more stuff being announced. I know there's an announcement. I think there's a stream, I think a Microsoft stream in the next few days or weeks coming up that's specifically about Play Anywhere, the initiative that they're pushing more and more, especially now with the ROG Ally, so or Xbox Ally, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised that this game actually be coming Play Anywhere shortly. Then some other cool things about the ROG Xbox Ally, as I was talking about. Today there was a live stream about a deep dive. If I put this a bit bigger here so you guys can see something. So they kind of like went through, like, I think the unboxing experience of the ROG, and they talk about more, you know, like about the features, how it works, about the games, how they run, how they have the program, you know, where they test games, let you know the performance-wise how it's going to be on your device and stuff like that. So if you're interested, there's a little cool little, like, 1 hour stream here, and they play some games and stuff like that, you know. So you want to check it out on the Xbox's X account if you want more on the ROG Ally and ROG or Xbox Ally. So it's quite a mouthful, so it's kind of easy to mess up. Plus, big push obviously for those two devices, the Ally and Ally X. There is going to be some commercials for it all over the place in the Times Square in New York. So if you just happen to be walking by and be able to see the mural that's going to be happening over at Times Square in the next few weeks, well, here it is. That's what it's going to look like, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, it seems, looking at this, they're putting really quite a bit of money to really showcase what's happening. I know they're one of the first on the big ones, like if you compare it with Sony, for example, where they have their own like handheld like that, and really learning how people use it, because how they're going to be pushing their next generation hardware here. So really cool to let people know that here, this is what Xbox is doing, you know. So they're a bit ahead of the curve here, I find, which I quite like, and really pushing this partner device, which is a very good sign of things to come with upcoming OEMs as well. And now that we're past that, here's a little thing we talked about last week, and now we do have, I'm going to shut them down here. So the Red Sec Battle Royale for Battlefield is now official, and the next day, so October 28th, so in 18 hours from when I've been recording this, they're gonna have the trailer happening on the tubes. So if you're impatient like I am, you want to put it a little timer on your cell phone here and check it out tomorrow as it drops. Arc Raiders has its launch trailer here, coming in just a few short days, but I think it's on the 30th of October. But here's the launch trailer for Arc Raiders. So if you're just as impatient as some people are out there, no, it's not really for me. I tried the public, it wasn't the beta, but like a server slam, and not my style. But if you're into extraction shooters and stuff, and I know this one seems to be quite popular, really awaited title, well, there's some more content for you to get your hands on or your eyes on while you're waiting for this game to come out on yes, October 30th. A brand new Crash Bandicoot animated series is in the works at Netflix. So it is coming off from the same studio that developed Sonic Prime. So there isn't much, all right, to be talked about here. They don't have a date, they don't have any timeline as to when it's going to be coming out. But just know that I guess after Crash Bandicoot number 4, which did, I think, pretty good for the studio, another push by Microsoft here, you know, for the global I guess audience, which is what Nintendo's kind of like doing, pushing like amusement parks with Mario and Donkey Kong and the movies and stuff. I guess Microsoft is doing, you know, like some kind of like a big push here in order to keep these franchises relevant, I guess, in a way, as to when the future sequel does come out at some point, people kind of like still have it fresh in their minds. You know, maybe there's even another title in the works we don't know about, and it's gonna be like we've seen with Fallout, for example, where they didn't have anything ready at the time of the TV show, and they would have propelled like the popularity of the game even more. I'm guessing they are now more aware of this stuff and working out with more entities around to make sure that all their franchises are served equally. Pretty big article today from Windows Central's Jess Corden, so please take the time to give them the click and go have a read. Obviously, we need to support these outlets that really bring in the news, and they seem to be always at the forefront of getting like the latest and greatest information about what's going on with Xbox. They have pretty good sources, and so basically it's kind of like more maybe not confirmation, I guess, because still a report that's something that's coming out in a while, so stuff could change. But if you go through the article, what you'll read is that the ambition is really to go all out in terms of like having Xbox games from the OG Xbox generation, Xbox 360, Xbox One, as well as Series S and X, all available through the PC Xbox full screen experience. So what you have right now is kind of like a glimpse of what's to come in the next 3 years, and all the games are going to become playable on those systems going forward. Now, whether that will be absolutely required, the AMD chips is most likely for some of that stuff, although some of it might run through emulators, or maybe all of it will be able to run emulators, depending on how it's set up. Hard to say for now, but that is the intention. The store charges only 12% when it comes to royalties instead of 30% like the current Xbox hardware, which means that maybe the next hardware is going to be a bit more expensive due to compensate for the lack of the lower royalties, which is good for publishers, but bad for us if we're having to pay more for the hardware because it's less subsidized. But that's one thing to consider as well. Microsoft is apparently going through with this, considering it's all PC based. They're really considering removing the multiplayer paywall, which would mean that all of the Game Pass plans, right, all the tiers would just be Game Pass, basically like just the gaming part, right, and cloud. No more paying for multiplayer, which makes sense because this is PC based, which means that it's already free on PC to play multiplayer, so it's kind of pointless to be charging for that. But considering there's already also the matter of PC Game Pass, which is a thing, if all of Xboxes become PCs, then PC Game Pass suddenly becomes useless. Especially since they're already hiding it. You know, if you go on the Game Pass, I should have brought it up ahead of time, but if you go on the Game Pass page, you have all of the tiers, and then little characters at the bottom, like here, there's PC Game Pass still, but they're kind of like trying to shove it away, like hide it away, you know. You don't want people to know about it, but it's still a thing. But most likely what's going to happen is PC Game Pass is probably going to disappear. The other 3 tiers are going to stay there, depending on how many games you want and how much cloud gaming you're planning to use. And obviously, for the foreseeable future, most of the games are still going to be if they're compatible with the new hardware. That means that developers can still push for their versions to be compatible on Series S and X, because they're going to be then forward compatible with the newer hardware as well. So that means everything's going to go PC based all of a sudden. But this is what they are planning to do. And the premium experience part is obviously because it's going to support all of the stores, and being that they're subsidizing less and less, the premium part is probably coming on the price, where it's going to be a bit more expensive for you again, but they're still planning to make it cheaper than what you would pay for an equivalent PC hardware, which is still decent for us if we're paying maybe $100, $200 more than you would for the competitors' hardware. But you get a full PC, like, right, you get the gaming part, but you can still run it as a full-blown PC if you want to. This to me at least it makes sense, because then I wouldn't have to upgrade my PC and my Xbox. I would just upgrade one, which does both, right? So it makes a lot of sense, and when you consider it that way. And then there's also talks in there of like the fact that stuff like Fortnite, for example, isn't available on Steam, so you still need like a console, which the Xbox Store would kind of like, you know, the blend like the console and PC spaces, you know, so you can still get those applications. Stuff like World of Warcraft, for example, which is only available on Battle.net, means it's still available on there, which is something the Xbox console doesn't have yet. So that brings more games to those people that didn't have access to it. So there's a lot of advantages to that initiative that they're doing right now. And I think it makes a lot of sense. And I'm hoping that a lot of people actually see it the way I do, and that this push actually works out for them. And just to close off today's news, there is a little article here published on the Microsoft News about Obsidian. So if you, I guess it's just to go with the release of Outer Worlds, which is happening in 2 days. Or if you're like me, you bought the premium edition upgrade while you've been playing all weekend. I am trying to get my, I'm trying to get through the game as fast as I can, just so I can push out a review. I know this isn't what my channel is mostly about, but I still love doing it. So, and there is my Keeper review, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Go check it out. I'm not the best at video editing, but I quite like making the videos when I can. So if you want to see what I thought about the game, check it out on my channel as well. But yeah, So if you want to read more about the studio life at Obsidian, you know, and why they're so godlike at what they're doing, head on over to the news.microsoft.com website and read this little article here about what it's like to work at Obsidian. And with that, I'm out. That's it for today. This is quite enough already for a start of the week. Hopefully, with what happened last week, was a pretty big week. I'm guessing it's going to be a slower paced week, but you never know. There's always stuff going on with Xbox. And with that, I am out. Have a good evening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, take care.